everybody. We are back again for some more NFL football. We are already down to week 13 is over.
And week 14 approaches.
And week 14 approaches, and there's only 18 weeks in the regular season. So we are down to where if you're going to get in, it's time to win right now. But let's go ahead. We're going to recap week 13 first here. We might have a dumpster fire going on still yet somewhere. And then we're going to do some picks for week 14. But let's jump into week 13 first. We had a AFC matchup
between the Bills and
the Patriots.
This was an ugly game for New England.
Yep.
And so much so that Mac Jones yelled at his offensive mind on the sidelines.
Yeah, Mac Jones doesn't yell a lot, but he was emotional. He was like mad.
Yeah, and there's just problems all over that team.
Yeah. The Bills did win it 24-10.
But at a cost.
But at a cost. They lost their best, definitely their best defensive player on the team. Von Miller
out for the year with
tore his ACL and is gone for the year now. So
it's going to be hard to overcome that.
That's a big blow. But the Bills' defense was really, really good. Maybe lately they've not been as good.
And that's probably because of him not being
there.
That
might have been, yeah. So, but anyways, the Bills did what they needed to do. They won that game. Jumping into Sunday's game, we had the Steelers at the Falcons.
The Falcons are wasting every opportunity they can to win that bad division.
Yeah, they could have. They should have won that game, but
the Mike Tomlin pizzazz just got them there. They're 5-7. All they have to do is win 3 more games four more games.
4
to win 4.
If the Steelers go 4-1,
they won't have a losing.
They will not have a losing season. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season.
So you think it's time for him?
If the Steelers go 4-1 down the stretch, I don't know. I've seen crazier things happen. And Kenny Pickett's starting to come around a little bit as a rookie there. We had the Jaguars at the Lions. The Lions finally blew out somebody. They've been scoring.
This was a beatdown.
42-14.
The Lions have had a good offense all year if you've kept track.
Yeah, they've been just struggling to keep it. Normally, if they score 40, somebody else scores 42. So, but this time their defense did their job, and Trevor Lawrence
5-7
didn't get it.
Believe it or not, they're still in the thick of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that are 500-ish that are still alive in the NFL right now. We've got a lot of parity in the league this year.
What's Packers and the Bears? That game, that was basically just Aaron Rodgers flexing on the Bears for the 100,000th time.
Yep. I really thought the Bears was going to win it. I mean, they started out on fire. Looked like, no. It doesn't matter how bad the Packers suck.
They will beat the Bears.
They're going to beat the Bears. That's just the way it goes. Aaron Rodgers is like, what, probably 42-2 against them, and since he started or something, it's crazy. We had the Jets at the Vikings.
Close game.
Really close game.
The Jets couldn't squeeze it in at the 1-yard line because they decided to get a little fancy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little old school. Maybe I shouldn't be old school, but I am old school. If you're 3rd and 1, you're 4th and 1. I don't think you should be throwing the football. I don't think you should be handing the football off from the 5 or 6 yard line either. You should have a power option to where you can get 1 yard. I mean, we're talking 1 yard
and
in 2 plays.
This is a family tradition because the Jets offensive coordinator is of LaFleur. Mike LaFleur, the brother of Matt LaFleur. Head coach of the Packers, who happens to throw a lot at the 1.
Yes.
It's a family tradition.
They throw from the 1 yard line. I don't run the ball. I'm going to get me one of those t-shirts that says run the ball. I mean, I don't know. But the Jets probably could have and should have won it. But they just couldn't get that. They
couldn't get that 1 yard.
They couldn't get that 1 yard. And the Vikings again squeak out a win. Somehow you're waiting for the Vikings to collapse.
But they keep winning these games.
Keep finding some way to win almost every week. But the Jets do look pretty good.
The Jets, the quarterback situation's fixed up now.
At least for right now. And, Mike White is doing pretty good.
And for Big Al and those Jets, the Jets, you're still in the thick of the playoffs.
They are, yeah.
7th seed right now.
Yeah, they are. So they're still in it. The surprise AFC South is a strong division.
AFC East.
AFC East.
It's very strong.
It's a very strong division.
The worst team is 500, so that's not bad.
No, that's the same as the NFC East. 2 divisions you didn't think would be that strong.
Speaking of the NFC East.
The Commanders at the Giants, they played and decided nobody wanted to win.
It's a 2020 tie.
It's a 2020 tie.
We already know how this royally screws up the playoff
This
picture.
messes up. Ties mess up the playoff picture because you're 0-1 or 12-1. Somebody is going to get in. One of these 2 teams, the Commanders or the Giants, will probably get into the playoffs because of a tie now.
What the crap?
Somebody's going to be 10-6 and 1, and somebody else is going to be 9-7. So that half a game is going to get you in. But hey, it's better than losing, I guess. I don't know though. I'd almost rather lose. I don't know. It's just it's a bad taste in your mouth from a tie. But 20-20, the Commanders and the Giants are.
I just wonder why they even exist, the ties in the first place.
That's a good point. That's the NFL's fault. Make a way that somebody wins. Make a winner. Don't make us sit there for 10 minutes and watch people march up down the field and get nothing. And then you sit there just like dissatisfied, just like. We had the Titans at the Eagles.
A.J. Brown completely annihilated what was left of the
A.J.
secondary.
Brown was mad because the management of the Titans did not want to keep him last year. He felt like they didn't want him.
He just went off like a bomb.
So he decided he was going to single-handedly beat the Titans whenever they played, and pretty much he did.
And it cost the Titans not only the game, but their general manager got the boot out the door.
The general manager that got rid of him last fall
got booted.
So the Titans GM is no more. So maybe they'll get somebody in there. I don't know. The Titans are leading their division, but only because their division is
horrible.
Bad. It's really bad.
No matter how much they lose, everyone else loses. So they got a comfortable lead already.
What's called when you win by default?
That's what they did.
Yeah, they've lost 2 games in a row, and I don't think they've lost any.
But also fire Todd Downing.
Fire Todd Downing.
Get
an offensive coordinator in there that's good.
Let me tell you how many points I think Todd Downing scored in the whole second half.
None.
And Tannehill barely even had 150 passing yards.
Well, Derek King had 40-something rushing?
20 rushing yards. He only gave it to him 22 times. Todd Downing is a joke of a coordinator.
Yeah, he does not need to be coordinating.
He's part of this triangle.
He's part of the triangle of horrible, yeah. All right, we had the Broncos at the Ravens.
Speaking of triangle of horrible, might as well make it a hexagon at this point because Nathaniel Hackett
is a hack. He's a hack of a coach.
Russell Wilson, and you can't score more than 10 points.
9 points.
You've lost to a Ravens team without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you lost to a backup quarterback. And Lamar Jackson's going to be out for about 3-4 weeks now because of a sprained knee. Not a torn knee.
And still beat them.
But a sprained knee. And still beat the Broncos. The Broncos are
a disaster.
They're a disaster. That head coach needs to go.
He is a sitting duck.
He's a lame duck.
The fans want him gone. The medias want him gone.
The fans has already fired him. He's just he's just started getting a check.
And now there's drama with Russell Wilson wanting to bring back that huge $250 million contract, buy that out for some reason. Even though you're probably stuck.
The problem's not Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was a Pro Bowler maybe like last year. Now don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson's not in the prime of his life, but he was a Pro Bowler last season.
And Hackett made him terrible.
And they scored 9 points against the Ravens.
Hackett made him terrible. Nathaniel Hackett, he might be the worst. Another screw up in in-game decision making.
He might be the worst head coach as far as a head coach right now. We got some bad coordinators out there, but he might be the worst head coach. Him and Todd Bowles are really
teetering that line, but at least Todd Bowles is trying.
Hey, Todd Bowles can maybe squeak out a win. Hackett can't. He can't squeak out a win, man. And the Broncos have been giving games away. Here, take this win. We don't want it. And the Broncos still couldn't get the win.
Didn't we tell you, Nathaniel Hackett is the biggest joke in Denver, Colorado right now.
He is, yeah.
He doesn't even tell a joke, and he's already become a joke. Because he coaches like he's a joke.
They need to get him out of there pretty quick before it turns into too much of a fire. We got the Seahawks at the Rams.
Speaking of a joke,
the Rams offense. The Rams, man. It's hard to really believe that they won the Super Bowl last year. They are so bad. Of course, Stafford's out, so who'd they pick up?
Baker Mayfield this week.
The Panthers released Baker Mayfield, so the Rams picked him up. So now Baker Mayfield is a Ram. I don't think he's going to go in there and light things on fire because they don't have any talent right now, too much to play with. Cooper Kupp's out. Cooper Kupp's their team.
I mean, they've been dealing with John Wolford as their quarterback.
Who?
John Wolford.
That sounds like a department store. I'm going to go over to Wolford's.
That's their quarterback. It's the postal office.
I don't know. We had the Browns at the Texans.
The Texans are the worst team in football.
They're pretty bad.
Or
Denver. Or is it Denver?
Denver has the worst offense in football, but the Texans might be the worst team.
Yeah, what are they? 182-1?
They're 110-1. They're wretched.
Well, they're going to have the first pick next year and the second, third, fourth, and fifth from trading which way Deshaun Watson or something. They're going to have a good draft next year.
But, man, their team...
Oh, they have the potential for a good draft. As long as their GM doesn't completely screw it up like the last one they had did.
Bill O'Brien.
The offensive coordinator for the
Alabama
that didn't get them into the playoffs. Only the second time in the history of the playoffs that Alabama didn't go. But that's college. We don't want to talk too much about that. We had the Dolphins at the 49ers. Butt kicking out of Tua. Tua got hurt there too. He's not hurt bad.
Like he was earlier because the Dolphins didn't want to protect him for some reason.
But he does. Every game that Tua survives, he lives, they win. He didn't survive this one. So
they just got smashed by the 49ers.
The 49ers defense may be the best. The 49ers defense and the Cowboys defense, man, that would be a game. Those two playing each other, wouldn't it? It might be 3-2 or something at the end of the game.
The 49ers D might be the best unit in football.
They are. How many points did they give up in the second half?
Only like 7.
7 or something,
yeah. Most. That's the most they've given up.
Up in like 3 games. Normally, they give up 0 points in the second half normally.
Normally, they give up 0 points in the second half. I need to give credit to their defensive coordinator.
Their defense is fantastic.
DeMeco Ryans has really done a good job with them.
Picking up Cap McCaffrey wasn't that bad of a deal either.
Helped their offense. Especially with Brock Purdy coming in there full time. The
49ers, even though they don't have that strong of a record right now, I think they might have it together, and they might be the second best team in the NFC right now. Behind the Eagles.
Jimmy Garoppolo situation.
Oh yeah, Garoppolo. We forgot about him. He's out for the year.
There might be. I've also heard he might come back for the wild card, but that's doubtful.
That's doubtful. But right now, they've got their backup quarterback,
Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant from this.
He was Mr. Irrelevant. He looked pretty good.
He looked relevant.
But they've got so much talent on that offense.
It doesn't.
He may not have to
worry.
See, the quarterback has, honestly, for the past 4 or 5 years, hasn't carried the team. Garoppolo is a really good quarterback, but he hasn't carried the team. It's always been the other people, and the defense carried the team. So Purdy doesn't have to be Purdy. He just got to be cute.
He just at least be decent.
He just got to be decent. If you can hand the ball off to McCaffrey, toss it to McCaffrey, toss it to Debo,
or run it up the middle to Debo,
throw to Kittle across the middle 10 yards, you'll be fine.
Yeah, the 49ers have done a good job there. They got
so much. Plus, what's the Tennessee boy that's there?
Jawan Jennings.
Jawan Jennings is there. I mean, you've got so much talent on that offense. That Purdy's he does just have to manage it. That's all he's got to do. So I still like, even with that back, I still like the 49ers as the second best team in the NFC right now. I like the Cowboys because I am a Cowboy, but I don't trust the Cowboys because they let you down so many times. But anyways, we had the Chiefs at the Bengals, and Joe Burrow is the
3-0,
the kryptonite
of Patrick Mahomes,
of the Superman Patrick Mahomes. Yeah,
Joe Burrow is 3-0,
3-0
against Patrick Mahomes.
In the past year, he's beat Mahomes 3 times in a row.
In the past 12 months, he's beaten
him 3
times in a row.
Yeah,
he's the kryptonite for Patrick.
And the Bengals, who we thought would be pretty good this year, had some struggles starting out, some injuries. They look like they're maybe the team that went to the Super Bowl last year now.
Yep. All they have to do in the future is really just add pieces to this team, and they'll be a contender for years.
See, the NFC is pretty simple right now. We've got the Eagles, the 49ers, the Cowboys. Those 3 are, the Vikings probably. Those 4 look like probably the best. The AFC, man, there's like 12 teams that could win it. I mean, now you got the Bengals coming up there too. I mean, who's going to win the AFC?
I guess that gives you a lot of creativity with people.
You got a lot of creativity. I mean, you got, of course, the Chiefs. You got the Bengals. You got the Dolphins. You got the Bills. You got a bunch of teams that can win the AFC. So it's going to be fun to watch down the stretch. We had the Chargers at the Raiders. How about them Raiders?
How about them Raiders? They've won so many games in a row. They're third straight win.
They've won 3 games in a row. I had put them out the pasture. I'd already put them out, and we were thinking about next year's calf,
And all of a sudden, they come from the depths because of Josh. They gave the ball to Josh Jacobs, and he's doing damage. What a surprise.
If Jacobs gets injured, they are doomed. They are doomed. Or if Josh McDaniel starts thinking he's a good coach,
which he's not,
then they're doomed too. It's easy to go hand the ball off
to Josh Jacobs and let him run.
Hand the ball off. But if Josh McDaniel starts to getting fancy with his play calling again,
and also get Davante Adams going a little more. That could also help.
Davante Adams has been getting better the last little bit.
A lot better too.
Yeah.
Throughout the year.
So the Raiders, it might be too late to make the playoffs. Unless we've only got 4 weeks left.
Unless you can rip off a miracle run here.
But if they win 5 in a row,
then we could talk about them.
Then we could talk about them maybe skipping in at a 7th and 8th spot. And if the Raiders win 8 in a row and slip into the playoffs, dangerous.
Dangerous. That's hot.
That's hot.
Speaking of cold teams, the team they beat, the Chargers.
They need to fire the head coach. I'm sorry.
Brandon Staley.
And Staley is stale. He's stale. He's a stale piece of bread. He is. Somebody needs to crumble it up, feed it to the birds.
Just like bring in what did I tell you guys about Brandon Staley? He was a stale piece of bread. And
he is a stale piece of bread.
He's a stale piece of bread out there coaching.
He showed flashes throughout the last couple of years of maybe no. He ain't gonna do it. It's time to chuck him and get another one. He's got way too much talent to be doing nothing.
Mediocre record, 6-6, when you need to win out to get to the playoffs.
Think of the talent they got. They've got probably 2-3 starting wide receivers that would start on the other teams. Plus, they got Eckler.
They've added so many pieces in the offseason, and it's nothing.
He cannot call an offensive game. He can't.
And his run defense still is wretchedly bad, even though they added Khalil Mack.
Oh, you have to 30th in the league or something in run defense?
They're pretty bad on the run defense. They're really bad
in the run defense, yeah.
And Brandon Staley's specialty is defense. That's a problem.
No, it's not. We had the Colts at the Cowboys. This was a gimme.
And the Cowboys left whatever was left of the Colts left in ruin.
It was 21-19. Well, 13 minutes left in the game.
The Cowboys set a franchise record.
33 points in 12 minutes. In 12 minutes. They scored 13. They scored 33 points in 14 minutes.
That's crazy. How do you self-destruct that bad in the late game situation?
Who was the quarterback?
Matt Ryan.
Oh. That's how you give up a big lead in the fourth.
That poor guy. I feel so bad for him.
I do. Now. I'm a Matt Ryan fan. He's probably one of the nicest guys that's in the NFL right now. And he has just been snake bit.
He's been haunted by that 28-3 score his whole life.
Yeah. We called it just as soon as the game ended. We were like, that team's done. No matter how much. Don't matter. Done. But hey, go Cowboys. I'll take it while I can get it.
A whopping 50
Pollard
points.
might be the secret sauce.
A secret hot sauce.
He is the hot sauce. Rumors are OBJ will not be available during the regular season now.
So that could discourage the Cowboys from picking him.
Yeah. Their rumor is that he told the Cowboys that he would need 5 to 6 weeks to be game ready, and 5 to 6 weeks is the playoffs. So I don't know if anybody will pick him up this year or not. If they do, it'll be for a wild card round probably game at the earliest. Monday night game, we had the Saints at the Bucks.
The Saints.
Speaking of blowing a lead,
the Saints. What the heck is going on? You usually have the Buccaneers numbering
16-3 with eight seconds left, and they lost.
4 minutes, and you blew it in 4 minutes.
Gave up 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes.
I thought that Super Bowl blown lead was bad. This is horrible.
In 4 minutes. Now the Bucks have a history of giving up big leads, but this was the Saints here.
This was the Saints here. Todd Bowles managed to outcoach Dennis Allen, which I have a bone to pick with Dennis Allen.
How can you let Todd Bowles outcoach you? He is really one of the 2 worst head coaches in the league right now. At least in my opinion.
During his head coaching tenure.
The Chargers head coach may be jumping up there in the top 3 worst ones in the league now for me too.
Dennis Allen, throughout his career as a head coach, he's a good defensive mind, but he's not a good head coach. Let me tell you why.
What's his record?
4-12, 4-12, 0-4 fired. This year, 4-9. Put that all together.
He's 12 and what?
37.
God, how can you be 12 and 37 and be a head coach? I mean, how can you fail 75% of the time and be a head coach?
Every 75% of the games he's coached, he's lost.
If you failed 75% of the time when you went to your job, would you have a job?
No.
Why do they keep giving people jobs? Why does Todd Bowles have a job? Why does he have a job? Why does McDaniels have a job? Why do you have a job when you are horrible at it? I don't understand.
Some teams are just fooled so easy.
I don't know. Let's give him a shot. I think he might be our guy. He's not.
Let's give McDaniels a shot. Let's give Allen a shot.
Let's give Todd Bowles a shot. Yeah.
Let's give Todd Bowles a shot.
But anyways, that is our recap of Week 13. Now we're going to throw in a little dumpster fire of the week.
Dumpster fire of the week.
Yeah. And the dumpster fire is
the Houston Texans.
The Houston Texans.
It could have been Hackett.
It was a close one. We almost pulled Denver out for the second week in a row because how bad they are. But when you lose to the Browns and the Browns when the Browns defense scores and special teams scores 21 points on you,
that is a special kind of bad. It's a special kind of bad. They made Joe Woods look like Wade Phillips. If you know who Wade Phillips is, he was really good at his job.
They give up a 76-yard punt return, a 4-yard fumble return, a 16-yard interception return.
Does that sound like Joe Woods?
They gave up a score in every way except for a touchdown. 2 field goals. Punt return, fumble return, interception return.
How do you let Joe Woods' defense scoring 14 points on you?
Joe Woods has got one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in the NFL right now, and they got 21 points special teams and defense on them.
That has to be a tale of how wretched the offense is.
It was just bad. The Texans scored 3 points, 2 points, 3 points, 6 points. That was the 4 quarters.
That was an unbelievably bad one. Cleveland only scored 1 offensive touchdown and still beat you soundly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that even Deshaun Watson didn't have a good day either.
No, Deshaun Watson was 12 of 22 for 131 yards and 1 interception, and still won.
handily because
of the defense and the special teams. The leading receiver for the Browns had 44 yards, and you lost.
If you looked at that game and saying, what were we talking about Joe Woods? Joe Woods is so good.
Joe Woods is a bad defensive coordinator.
Don't let that fool you.
No,
You just faced a horrible team.
A broke clock is right twice a day.
And
Joe Woods had a good game. It doesn't mean nothing about him being a good defensive coordinator. Most of the times, his secondary looks like they're just running around hoping the ball gets in their area. That's it. There's no scheme to it. But that was
really bad. They even benched their starting quarterback, and they still look this bad.
They had 4 turnovers. Houston had 4 turnovers.
Man, bringing back that Jameis Winston Kitchen. Man, I miss him.
I miss old Jameis Winston. He was so fun. But anyways, yeah, Houston won 10.
They're 1-10-1.
And 1. Who was it that they tied with?
Indy.
Who was it that they beat?
Probably someone terrible.
Oh, I gotta see who they beat. I don't remember who they beat.
I'd love to see.
I just want to see.
I'd love to see who they beat because they looked so bad beforehand. They beat the Jags.
They beat the Jaguars 13-6. At least it wasn't a really good. If they would have beat a really good team, that would be embarrassing. That would be embarrassing. But anyways, that's our dumpster fire of the week. Let's jump into our predictions for Week 14. Our Thursday night game is the Raiders at the Rams. As bad as the Raiders have been doing, they've won 3 in a row.
And
I'm picking the Raiders.
Josh McDaniels scares me a little bit because we know how he can coach.
Yeah.
But he does have the talent card, and the Rams look wretched.
The Rams are giving games away so fast, it's like,
It's like a Christmas Day. It's like a Christmas present.
It's a Christmas miracle, yeah. You take one. It's like Oprah. It's like the Rams are giving away games like Oprah gives away TVs. You take a game. You take a game. You take a game. So I'm taking Raiders are -6.5. I don't care. The Rams are that bad. We got the Panthers at the Seahawks.
I might take Seattle here because Geno Smith has been balling. We're going positive on the show.
Geno Smith has thrown the second most 300-yard games in the NFL this year.
Behind Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is the only quarterback who has threw for more 300 games than Geno Smith. How about them apples?
Geno Smith has had such a bounce-back year that no one saw coming.
It's good to see that, And honestly, he may be horrible next year. But this is a fun year. This sort of reminds me of Fitzmagic,
Yep.
So, get in there and you're like, wow, man, what? It may not last through next year. But I'm really happy for Geno. And we will take the Seattle, although the Panthers are surging right now and still are only 2 games out of their lead in their division at 4-8.
The NFC South is such a pile of garbage.
It is bad. It is bad. We got the Jets at the Bills.
That is such a tough game to pick.
That is a tough game. I'm going to go Bills, though, just because the Bills should win this. Von Miller's not going to be there. The line's 9.5. Do you think the Bills will beat them by 10?
I might go Jets here.
I know, yeah. The Jets plus 9.5. The Bills have not been impressing me lately. And with the loss of Von Miller, Mr. White might have a little more time in the pocket. So, Jets plus 9.5. Browns at the Bengals.
Okay, this only needs one sentence. Joe Woods versus Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, and
T.
Higgins, and Joe Burrow.
Bengals by 50.
With that chicken secondary against Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
gosh.
Chase he looked good in his game back, didn't he? He looked good. He looked good. We will take the Bengals -6. Texans Cowboys.
This might be the biggest blowout of the week.
This should be the biggest blowout of the week. The Cowboys should put up 40 on them. It should be 40-30. 40-13. They should beat them by 20 plus.
Dan Quinn against that horrible offense, he should have a field day.
It should have a field day, yeah. They actually benched their starter. They're going back to their backup to be the starter again. What's his name? Mike something. I don't know.
They benched
the starter to go back with the guy who started the first part of the year.
Nobody likes David Giraffe Neck Mills.
Nope, Mills has been benched, and they're going back to the other guy.
May his career rest in peace.
Yes, the short-lived career. Vikings at the Lions.
Points to be scored. That's the tale of the game.
I'll take the over. It should be 42-40.
I think Vikings win because
I will take the Vikings. The Lions are actually favored by 2.5, believe it or not. But I will take the Vikings. It's going to be a big score.
If the Lions win here, it's going to be close for them.
Mm-hmm. The Vikings have been finding some way to kick a field goal with 3 seconds left and win these close games.
It's like TCU from this year in college football.
Yeah, so, I mean...
They both happen to wear the color purple.
Especially if I'm catching 2.5 points, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll take the Vikings plus 2.5. We got the Jaguars at the Titans.
Todd Downing is... I'm sorry if I repeat this sentiment, but Todd Downing is terrible.
He's a horrible offensive coordinator. But the Titans coming off of a loss, being back at home,
against the Jags, they should
win this one. They're only favored by 4. I'll take that.
All you have to do, Todd, is give the ball to Derrick Henry. Don't be cute. Don't try this. Snap out a shotgun on a certain one. No.
Don't do a tight end. Don't do a tight end sweep.
I bet you he's going to try it once.
You know he will. We got the Eagles at the Giants.
Giants need a win.
Giants need a win, but the Eagles
are pretty much supernova everybody.
They are really, really good right now. So, I mean, the Eagles are -7. I'll probably have to take that. The Giants need a win. They're at home, coming off of a tie. I'm going to take the Eagles. Ravens at the Steelers.
Without Lamar Jackson, this could be really an opportunity for Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's favored by 2.5.
I'm going to take the Steelers.
I'm going to take the Steelers. They're going to work their way back up to 9-8. You wait and see. They're going to work their way up.
That's Mike Tomlin. I mean, that's just when all is lost, he still finds something.
Yeah, and maybe the blowout of the week, besides the Cowboys, the Chiefs at the Broncos.
Dear Lord, have mercy. Can you think of a worse head coaching match between a great head coach and a crappy head coach?
This is about the polar opposites of head coaching.
Andy Reid against Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah, that's
as long
a separate as you can get. Yeah, Chiefs are favored by 9.5. I'm gonna have to take that. It should be 37-10.
No, I'm gonna make it 50-7. They can't get to 10 points.
They couldn't get the 10 points last week against Baltimore without Lamar Jackson. We got the Bucks at the 49ers. This will be a closer game than people think because Brady.
He throws pixie magic everywhere.
He got pixie magic, but I will take the 49ers. They're favored by 3.5, and their defense right now is so good.
Can Tom Brady overcome Todd Bowles?
No.
He did last week.
I don't think he can this week. I think the 49ers defense is too good. We got the Dolphins, Chargers. Somebody needs to win this game.
And the Dolphins will.
And the Dolphins will. Dolphins coming off of a loss. They are on the road, but I think the Dolphins are a way better team. Tua might not start.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. But I'll still probably take the Dolphins. They need this win. Monday Night Football, we got the Patriots at the Cardinals.
I'll give this one to the Pats.
I think I'll take the Patriots too.
Because
Patriots are favored by 1.5.
Cliff Kingsbury's team is falling off a cliff. You like that?
Oh, that's so bad. But it's true.
That is true.
They are pretty bad right now. A lot of injuries. I think Huntley and Kyler Murray got into it a little bit on the sidelines. So
has to be something changed there.
They got to be something that changed there too. I'm iffy on their head coach now too. He's starting to get on the list of maybe he ain't as good as we thought he was, but we'll see. But that's it. That is our picks for week 14.
Extravaganza for this week.
Yeah, we had some fun this week. We hope you liked it. We hope you had a little fun with us. Here, leave us some comments below what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share us.
Groovy baby button.
Share us with your friends. Hit the groovy button. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.